Hello again, welcome back. I'm John from Castle Kingdom, and in this video we're going to be setting up a 4x6 Marquee. Now on this one we're going to be doing it long ways along the garden, so from left to right on each of those panels. Now normally we would do them from the back of the house, the extension or the kitchen towards the fence. But on this one, they want it side on, from left to right. So as you can see, I'm laying out the poles there. Each one of those poles is 2 meters, running from left to right. So it's a 6 meter, and they wanted it set up as far to the right hand side as they could. So they can have access along the left hand side to where the washing line is. So we're just putting all the poles in, building the framework. This is the canopy section, or the roof section. Then we just put our little join pieces in, and then we build the roof section. Now that's the customer just came out now just to check where it's going to go, and I was explaining to him it'll be more to the right hand side where the fence is, which is what they wanted. So when they come out of the house at the back, the patio doors, they can walk straight into the marquee. So we'll just go around with the mallet now and tighten everything up. And I have got little thumb screws on each one of those join pieces. So once you bash them in with a rubber mallet, never use a metal one, or it'll just damage the poles. That will tighten them all up. On this one here, I took a couple off because I put the wrong bar in. I put a B one instead of an A, which pulls it out of shape a little bit. Sometimes you do that. They're different sizes, the A and the B poles, but you'll soon know once you've put them on, it'll be out of shape when you look down it. So just change them over, and then you're ready to put the roof section on. Now putting the roof section on is a little bit tricky on your own. You've got to do it on each corner, sort of pull it into the middle, get it sort of central. If there's 2 of you on it, you can be on one end and just square it up between you, but if you're on your own, you have to sort of walk around it. I mean, I could have asked the customer, he was quite accommodating. I'm sure he would have helped me. So once you've got the roof section on, then we get a couple of bungees and we tie them on each end. Now this is just to stop it sort of moving around, or if it's a little bit windy, it'd blow about. So you don't really want that. So we put a couple of bungees on each end. Now we're just lifting up one side of it, putting the legs on, as you can see on the left there. Now we start off just doing one side. We don't do them both at this stage. We just put one side on, so it's easy to work inside the marquee. You're at standing height, and you can put on the 2 end panels. And that just makes it a lot easier than trying to do it off a ladder. Right, here comes the customer again. He's got my bacon sandwich. Very nice. Never say no to a bacon sandwich. So again, we're just going through exactly where it's going to be. So there's got some space to get around the back. Right, that's the bacon sandwich all done. Very nice it was too. And a cup of tea. Right, we're inside the tent now. So as I was saying, if you put it up on one side with the legs, then you can put on the end panels a lot easier. You don't have to stand on a ladder. You can just put them on while you're standing there. It makes it a lot easier. So we just go down either side, get the bungees on, and we do the same process on this end as well. Now I took one up there and it was a little bit dirty, so I changed that over. I always bring spares with me when I set these marquees up. Some of them, if they're put away damp, they can get a little bit of mould on them, so you need to clean them. But you don't always notice it when you're putting them away, so I always bring spares and then take the one back and I know it needs cleaning. So bungees down each end, that's the 2 end panels on now. And as you can see in their garden, they've got on a little drain cover there, which was slightly raised, and they were having a carpet in this marquee as well. So we were going to put some ground sheets down over that when we were going to put the marquee down. Now We got some draping on this one. Now that wasn't requested by the customer, but I decided I was going to put it on just to make it look nice. It was for the guy, his daughter's 18th birthday, so I wanted to put some roof drapes on to make it look nice. Now the best way to do this again is like doing it while the marquee's on its side, so that way you're not hanging off a ladder. But the only problem is sometimes if the ground is a bit muddy, it can get a bit dirty, so you'd have to put some ground sheets down first if you're doing it this way. If you do it off a ladder, then it's hanging up and it's not going to be on the sort of muddy or dirty grass. But as this was peak summer, the ground was pretty dry, a little bit dusty in places, but I managed to get all the roof drapes hanging while I had it on its side. It's a lot easier to do it this way, as I'll say. And there you go, I'm just lifting it up now, putting the feet on the other side. You can't actually see it because the camera's inside the tent. But that's it in place now with the roof drapes hanging down freely. Once you raise it up, they won't be hanging on the ground, they'll just be raised up. But obviously you don't want to get them dirty if you're doing this in the autumn or winter months, or even in the spring. Right, so the next thing is we put the ground bars on. Now these go on each side. This just makes it nice and square and it stops any movement backwards and forwards. And it's also to put bungees on. So when you put the side panels on, the bungees will tie top and bottom, which will stop it flapping about. As you can see, it's blowing around a little bit in there, the panels and the roof section, but the bars will stop that. Right, so the next job is putting the side panels on. So as I say, once you've got it all up, you can then just put the bungees along the top and also along the bottom. Now as this is a 3 metre or 4 metre by 6, we need 3 panels, which are 2 metres each. Normally when I fold these up, I fold them in pairs, so it'll be a 4 metre. And then on this one we have to split one, just make that extra 2 metre on the end. So if it was an 8 metre, you'd have two pairs on each side. It just makes it easier that way. And on here now we're going along with the bungees, tying it on the bottom, stop all that flapping around. As you can see, it holds it nice and tight when you do this. Right, so then we go around the back and we start zipping up all the windows and the sides. Now they've got velcros on each panel either side, and they've also got zips, so it ties everything in nicely. So the side panels tie in nicely with the end panels. That stops any sort of wind blowing and flapping around. It's quite a good design on these ones. So we go around and tie all those up, and then once we've done that, then we open up the end of it, just let a bit of air in. It was very warm when we were setting this marquee up, so once you get the main structure all built, I open it up just to let a bit of air in. Right, so we're just going to go around each pole now and put the velcros, tie it all in. So we've got the bungees top and bottom, and the little velcros that go around each leg. This stops any of it sort of flapping around. And then the next one is to tie up, once you've got the sides on, put on the roof section. Now as I say, this wasn't requested when they booked the marquee, but as it was for an 18th, I thought it'd look quite nice. Sometimes we put these on if they want them, but generally if it's just a birthday party, it's not nearly necessary. Not really necessary, but it just makes it look nicer. So I thought I was going to put these on. So they've just got little velcros on each end of them, so you just tie them around the top of the window sections. Just working your way from one end to the next. And we do the same on the other side. Now as you can see there's a window panel left open. That was so the customer could come out of the back of the patio doors and straight into the tent. It doesn't take that long to put them up. As long as you've got them with you, you can do it. You can actually put the wall drapes on as well. They go along each side where the windows are, but not necessary really on a job like this. So I've just got my ladder out there now. So when you've put the roof section on, they've got little velcros that run down between each panel. You can do this while they're hanging down, but I hadn't done it, so I'm just going on the ladder now and just tightening it up. Otherwise you'll see gaps in between them and you can see up through into the roof section. Now also it can look really nice if you put fairy lights underneath there before you put the ceiling drapes on, and it just gives it that nice little sparkly effect. But they were putting their own lights on later on, they'd supplying their own. So here we are putting the ground sheet down, covering that drain cover I was talking about on the left hand side there. It was slightly raised, so I did explain to the customer that they knew about it, so we put a couple of ground sheets down and then they pulled the carpet over into place. Now it was grass on one side, so we could easily peg down the carpet, but the other one was on the patio area, so it was a bit tricky to peg it down. So I put the ground bars over the carpet on the right hand side there and just strapped it all down either side. That makes it nice and tight. Then you can just pull it over and start nailing down each end. And that was pretty much it. The last thing to go in was the tables and chairs. Anyway, that was the 4x6 Marquee set up there. You can see the inside with the tables and chairs, the finished job. And the customer was quite happy with it, and it worked quite well. Anyway, as always, thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.